What's going to happen to house prices? I get this question every single day. Every single day, phone call, somebody contacts, email, direct message, some question about what's going to happen with house prices, Ron, particularly in the areas that we pay the most attention to, which is Ontario and often British Columbia questions. The thing about Alberta is people know the prices are going up. I mean, that's just it in Alberta. I mean, they've got a high growth economy. There's lots of people coming in. The houses are still pretty reasonably priced, particularly in Edmonton. Calgary prices are getting up there to the point where people are starting to wonder. But the truth is, I don't have to talk about Alberta. Those prices are solid. What happens in British Columbia and Ontario? Now, Ontario is, and both those provinces are big places. The price action in Vancouver, Surrey, the Valley, Fraser Valley is different than the island. Vancouver Island is different than the interior. It's different. It's different in Kelowna than it is in Prince George. I mean, it's different. It's different everywhere. But the reality is that in Vancouver proper, throughout that whole region, there is price pressure downwards because there's no activity. Absolutely no activity. Is a great house in the best street or the most sought after area going to get its full price? Probably yes, absolutely. But we do see pressure on what you would call overpriced units, overpriced homes that ran up significantly in 2021, part of 2022. Those prices rode up, and the worst situation is probably in Ontario. Let's face it, Ontario had the most aggressive price hikes in 2021. In some regions, we saw parts of the GTA. We saw increases of 30% in a year, which is just batshit crazy, absolutely nuts. But Ottawa is different again. Ottawa doesn't seem to have the same kind of volatility, although prices are definitely up in Ottawa. We don't have the same kind of pressure because those prices are still much more reasonable than in the GTA. So what happens in GTA? GTA falls into two categories. The condos, the high-rise condos in the GTA, and all other low-rise single-family towns, semis. That's two completely different markets. The truth about the condos is it could be a version of free fall. Although the prices have not broken yet, but the inventory keeps building. The stories of desperate problems about negative cash flow continue to grow. The issues to do with new supply. We have 20,000 new condo units coming on stream as construction completes in the next 18 months. And some of those prices are absolutely wacky and people just in all likelihood won't close. So there isn't going to be a lot of turmoil and a lot of discussion in the condo market, in the GTA, particularly in 416, for the next 18 months. Next year is going to be hectic and volatile and potentially dangerous. As far as single family is concerned, that's a different story. But to finish off on the condo market, when does because condos in many cases are designed to be owned by investors. There's tons of them owned by investors. In 2021, almost over 70% of all the condominiums purchased in 2021 were designed to be owned by landlords. So big part of it is rental. How does that all shake out? Here's the deal. You really need to have a condo price come down dramatically to say 450,000 in order for the math to work. Like if you take a 450 purchase price, $380,000 mortgage, the payments are about $1,860 a month at a lower rate than today. We're estimating lower rates in the future. Monthly condo fee is about say $465, another $195 in property tax per month. That's a monthly cost to the landlord of about $25.10, $25.20. You gotta get like $2,600 a month in rent on a small unit, which is hard as hell. But anything more, any higher price, any price in the fives with an 80% mortgage, it's crazy. It's instant negative cash flow. It doesn't make any sense. the math works against it, and the potential for increase, as we all know, in 416, everybody here does know that the possibility of higher condo prices in the immediate future, in the next 2 years, does not exist. Does not exist. So there's no appreciation. Who's going to endure negative cash flow? Now let's think about single family for a minute, particularly again in Southern Ontario. It's an expensive market. Let's just be honest. Most stuff starts at $1 million, whether it's, you could find townhouses for less. You might find a semi for less right on the far outskirts. But let's just use averages, $1 million. So $1 million for a home, 20% down payment, $800,000 mortgage. The combination of your mortgage payment, again, I'm estimating a lower interest rate than we actually have today. The combination of those two is a payment of around $45.50 a month. Say that again, $45.50 a month on an $800,000 mortgage at a lower rate than we have today, at a rate of like 4.25. That's your payment plus your property tax per month. Folks, there's not a whole hell of a lot of young people can afford that because that's all after-tax dollars is what that payment is, and that's too much. That's too much for the majority of people. Sure, some people can manage it, parental help. The down payment itself was $200,000. How are you going to save that up? But at the end of the day, that's the reason house prices are under pressure in the GTA. Even single-family homes are under pressure, even though there is scarcity of those homes, because we quit building them altogether, and we've built fewer and fewer for the last 5 years. Scarcity builds, but prices still don't really make sense for a first-time home buyer, and that's going to be the problem